yeah, we have this religious story that's propagating the holy wars and the contention of the holy wars, the division, the enemy patterning, the karma, the vengeance, the tit for tat, the occupation, the genocide, the, all the stuff, right? That's everything that's muddied in the water, the prey versus the predator, the, whose history is true and whose history is not true, the war over history, the war over the AI mindset. And yeah, we have all of that that's happening. But then it's like there's also this grid mapping that's happening in Israel, this Stargate kingdom essentially that's there and that is active in Israel. And I've just been seeing this open up more and more and more and more that we're gaining access to these very high powered Stargate systems in Israel. And it's like a whole Stargate garden, like similarly to how Hawaii is. Because it is considered a location that holds the cradle of civilization, because it is a location that the Christos feline Elohim, uh, lionine, like the lion lineages, the Lyran lineages, they descended here. Like they descended in this location. So I feel like there's been maybe some level of dormancy of the white Lyran grid matrix that's in Israel, that there's some sort of planetary ascension interface network and system of an activation that's happening in Israel that's activating the stargates, and this is expanding in the grids. And I just can feel it as these locations start to really bring a lot of the karmic judgments that it's almost like we have to review and we have to cleanse and purify the land of Israel at this time because of the war, because of what's going on with Israel and Iran, Israel and Hamas, Israel and Hezbollah, Israel and all its surrounding warfare that it's inside of, right? Okay, and it's not because of politics. This is because of the stargates, and this is because of the unique blood codes that are held there. And the Hebrew genome carries ancient seed contracts to serve as gatekeepers to Eden. And this is why Israel cannot be destroyed, is because they are the keys. The stargates there are the keys. Those stargates are being protected. Why do you think there is a golden dome over Israel? Like the only place on the planet, yes, they're under high stress and high threat, but there's a golden dome. I mean, everything is with and for a higher purpose, like a higher reason. So, yeah, I decided to do this grid work mission, you guys. I hope that you'll come and join me. Links are down in the description of this video. I did just post it up on my Facebook, so you can go to my Facebook and just get all of the details if you'd like to join this mission on 88 Lionsgate. And you join the Gridwork mission by becoming a patron on patreon.com/IndigoAngel, or you can donate to my PayPal. Um, just send an offering, and then I will include you in the mission, and I will send you the Zoom link for the event to your email. And yeah, come and join us on 88 Lionsgate. We're going to be working on so much within Israel. It's so important. It's so significant at this time. And this is the grid work of our time. I mean, this is really, I don't think there's anything more important that we could be doing, honestly, other than working on areas where the planetary ascension stargates are actually located. Um, yeah, this is very, very significant. Now, I want to say when we talk about the Jewish lines and the Elohim groups, so there was also an alien hybridization agenda that occurred, and some of these groups actually became like fallen lineages and lines. So some of the Elohim hybrids eventually um, became some of the races in the Jewish Semitic line in the Middle East. But that's the thing, not all of them are the fallen lines. Like some of them are still holding the true codes and keys, right? So this is why it gets so messy, and this is why it's hard for people to really decipher what is and what isn't, and what's true and what isn't true. But a lot of these lines were, when they stepped down from consciousness, like the next lower density, they were the Lyrans. The Lyrans, they stepped down into the next lower density, okay, into the third harmonic layer, accessed the monadic spirit plane within the race morphogenetic field. Some of them were the Lyran founders, but some of them more specifically were Lyran Syrian genetic seedings as well. Okay, so some were from the Syrian High Council and some came down from Tara. And I say all of this because it's important to know that I think this is, in terms of Stargate access point on the planet, like, because that's what Stargates are for. Stargates are for birthing and seeding galactic races on the planet, right? That's what they're doing. They're calling in souls from all over the universe or from specific places or whatever governs celestial system that governs that Stargate. So the Temple Mount, it's a 36 dimensional Stargate. It's connected to the Anunnaki. It's connected to the giants as well. It's connected to the Nephilim. It's also connected to the Elohim and the Elohai. It's like the Elohim and the giants, like they descended all through this gate system. And I think this is why there's so much warfare, genetic war over like who's who and who's what, because they were like, they went through like a forced hybridization program right off the bat. But many races descended down through this Stargate. Again, like the Lyrans, the Syrians, all these groups. Some of them, some of the Elohim groups digressed, and they became the entities of the Luciferian rebellion, the Luciferian covenant, and some of that is connected to some of the groups and that follow the Torah, that follow the Talmudic literature and the esoteric Kabbalah teachings in the Jewish religion, sourced from some of the fallen Elohim hybrids. Okay, so you can see how there's a lot to, clear here in this area when it comes to genetic distortion, the fallen ones. So this all is, and I think this goes back to the story of the fallen Elohim, right? The Nephilim. So I think if we're going to work on this gate system, it can't come from a place of warfare, right? It can't come from a place of condemnation of who's bad and who's not, who's fallen and who's not. It can't come from that place. Like I really feel like as a guardian representative, as a guardian grid worker, it's our responsibility to come from the most highest place, the most observative place, the most neutral place, and really work on it in terms of spiritual architecture. I feel like that has to be the focus of that grid work, is that we're looking at history, looking about what has occurred, where the kinks are in the prophecy, where the blockages are in the holy wars, where the blockages are in those stargates, because whether we like it or not, the Temple Mount is a stargate. And this is a very protected, godly Stargate region. There's a reason, again, there's a reason why there's a golden dome here. There's a reason why all the war is happening here. And I've said this in another video that if the Stargate in Israel is to break down, is to become no more, is to be blown up or something, it ceases to exist, the Jewish people are exterminated, that that Stargate would shut down. That would actually shut off and turn off aspects of our light body because the majority or the bulk of the collective have actually stemmed from this cradle point within humanity. All of us, in one way or another, especially those that are connected to the SA and Grail line, especially those that are the followers of Christ, especially those that believe in a cosmic Christed consciousness, especially those that are the soul lineages and lines of Mary Magdalene, especially those that are the priestesses of Isis. In one way or another, your mitochondria brings you back to this point, this cradle of civilization. Just checking comments here. Sacred Sovereign Valley says water stores memory codes, and they say is one of the highest levels of consciousness here on the earth as it receives the light codes from the sun and cosmos. I wonder how this may play a role. Yeah, that's definitely true. I agree with that. And it's also one of the most protective forces on the planet as well, particularly from damage, from harmful artificial frequencies, from weapon systems, from radiation. Water is the number one thing that protects you from radiation. That's why when NASA sends their rocket ships up into outer space, they coat the spaceship in water, which is crazy. I had no idea that they did that, but they take their spaceships and they line the whole ship in water. They have like a case of it of water around the ship. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, right? Like water, you don't mess with the water, the cosmic water. I mean, it is very high intelligence form elemental on the planet. Okay, yeah, Fadi says, hello, where are the stargates on the map? Can you mention that, please? Okay, so yeah, let's talk about that actually. I'm just staring at the map here, so I'll just zoom in a little bit more. I think, oh, you know what? Oh no. Jericho. So we need to talk about Jericho. I'll just put a little, this is something that's very significant for where we currently are with what we need to do here. I'm just saving this. We got to talk about Jericho because this is what I've really been getting is so significant to everything that is occurring right now, along with Mount Hermon. But Jericho, because ancient Jericho, there's a Nephilim stronghold that's here. And this is a Stargate. Jericho is a Stargate. It's a sound weaponry Stargate. And what needs to happen here is a Nephilim timeline purge because Jericho is the oldest, most ancient city. I think I pulled it up on, yeah, Jericho is a city in the West Bank. They say it's in Palestine, so this is actually a Palestine ruled area today, which is very significant. I think we need to take note of the fact that Jericho is ruled by Palestine. Um, and you think about the war that Israel and Gaza, Palestine are essentially currently in, right? Um, it makes me wonder if this war is not, really at the core of it, we're seeing this surfacing of Nephilim hybrid bloodlines that are at warfare. Nephilim bloodlines are essentially fratricidal, right? We all know I mean, we do compare this to the wars of the Anunnaki and I mean, we know this is the Gog and the Magog coming in. We know this is Enki and Enlil and the armies of Enlil, Cain and Abel, Romulus and Remus, like it's all fratricidal stories. Um, but I think we can get deeper than that because Jericho is where the Nephilim overthrew overthrew everything. And they built a big giant clan. They had like a giant clan that was strongholding the conquest of Jericho. And so I think what is held inside of the Stargate, a Stargate of Jericho, that there is a key to understanding how to collapse all of that distorted hybrid DNA, all of the negative inverted occult architecture, black cubes. I mean, I'm seeing a ton of black cubes over Jericho, and the original wars that's being fought between angels and demons, angels and fallen lineages. I think it's happening here. It's happening in the West Bank, right? And I didn't know that, but the West Bank is like a very significant place in Israel. Okay? The West Bank is controlled by three sectors. The green areas, the green areas, which is Jericho, this is controlled by Palestine. So these are Palestinian cities still. Um, Area B, Palestinian villages, and Area C, everything that's gray, is controlled by Israel. Look how intermingled these territories are, right? And you think about why there's so much war in the West Bank, why they can't get a hold of this, because it's like this is all intertangled here in the West Bank area. And Jericho is kind of at the apex of the West Bank. Jericho is like, it's the major energy vortex of that whole region that I feel like is signaling to us what has to clear here. The gateway to the promised land. The promised land. What is the promised land to us all? The promised land is New Earth. The promised land is a future that is a divine future, that is a divine earth for all of God's people. Okay, so Jericho must hold something here to activate. When I say it's a sound Stargate or a sound gateway, this is how they crumbled down the wall of Jericho, was all the Israelites circled Jericho. They went around it 7 times with the Ark of the Covenant. Like, we're all wondering, how does the Ark of the Covenant play into everything? Like, why does Trump have the Ark of the Covenant with Moses' inscription on the inside of it? Why does Trump have that? Here we have Jericho, where the Israelites circled 7 times with the Ark of the Covenant and the trumpets, and they used sound to shatter the Nephilim walls. This is how they like took Jericho back. And this is talking about when Nephilim were, on the earth in those days. Jericho represents one of the first battlegrounds between the divide between DNA, the divide in the DNA of the fallen genetic distortions. And the future prophecy of Jericho is that it's going to rise again. Jericho's going to, um, again in the future, it will be a purified area of light, and it'll be a light-coded frequency center. It might even be one of the cities of light as well. So what I'm getting in terms of grid work is that Jericho needs sound portal activation. Like, we can still work on this gate system by sound, and this is the magical keys to it all. Is we've been given the keys to actually clear this Stargate, to clear all of the bloodline fratricidal karma. We've been given the keys of sound and the signaling of sound to use sound. Crystal bowls, tuning forks, chimes, voice harmonics, Hebrew intonations. Replicate the trumpet frequencies, the trumpet sounds, right? Blast those. with the intention to collapse the AI overlays, the Nephilim grids, hybrid domination codes, black cubes, the Saturn strongholds, all King of Solomon inversions to the Metatronic systems. Clear Metatron here. Oh my gosh, I see that now. Wow, I just seen like a huge Metatronic implant in the Stargate of Jericho. It just kind of like felt like it even like hooked me in my own sacral chakra just there. A lot to dismantle here. Replace the Sophia Christos templating and activate the organic heart, the womb, the solar intelligence codes. We need to bring so much feminine energy to these gate systems. Okay, so which one is a gate system? Jericho's a gate system. That's a major Stargate node in Israel that currently right now we got to work on that part because I feel like if we can clear Jericho, which is a Stargate, the Temple Mount, you see how close they are in proximity to each other. That's the U.S. Embassy of Israel. That's where got bombed recently in the war. They bombed the embassy. I find it so interesting that they bombed the embassy, but they don't bomb the Temple Mount. Why? Because they want this. This is what the hybrid wars are over, right? They want this. I think the war we see today is we're watching the bloodlines of the Israelites battle out the Nephilim bloodlines. And these two stargates are very powerful, very significant. I think if they can be cleared and be activated, that it will activate like a white diamond Elohi energy. And again, working with the sound fields, the plasma sound fields, and emanating shields, shields to prevent harm, shields to prevent destruction, shields to prevent the 666 wormholes from linking in to that location, a shield to protect the universal tree of life in the Emerald Covenant. The Emerald Covenant was birthed here in this location. This isn't something I feel like to degrade. This is something to uphold. This is something to protect. This is where the pillars of the God worlds generate from the Emerald Order Tree of Life, that they're coming up and emerging through these stargates. Now, I think there's multiple lines and lineages of the giants, and I have to get more information on this, but um, they're called the Hebron. And Hebron might be a location, but it's the city of Anakim. So the Anakim were ruled by Ahiman, Sheshai, Talmai. They're all giants that descended from Arba. Key line nexus connecting to Egypt and Jerusalem, once corrupted by fallen rituals. Reclaimed by Joshua, later retaken by Caleb, who purged the giants once more. So this ley line right here, right? Uh, Temple Mount to Jericho, this ley line, the Christos encoding has to be relayed. Transmutation of giant blood imprints from the ley line and invoke the flames to run the guardian codes through here. And also all of the karma that comes from the land of Canaan, because we see this comes over too. The land of Canaan, which was all of this region, I believe it was all of this, including the West Bank. The land of Canaan holds a lot of records to the Atlantean memory and deep occult scribe knowledge that was used to program the Nephilim control systems. Came from Debir. They call it the city of books. So there's like a whole Black Magic Archive to the New Earth Light Library that's here that needs to be transmuted. Activate Solar Logos technology here. And then the southern area of Jerusalem, this is where there was more giants that were here as well. So there was a lot of ancient brutal battles with um, the Goliath and the Philistine giants too, because there's giants that came from Philistine as well. So I think they're all coming from a group of giants called the Rephaim bloodlines. And this is all like these were terrifying wars. Like the giant wars, these were terrifying. These were unlike anything anyone's, ever seen. You know, um, these giants essentially wore these humans like bones as like necklaces, right? Like, I mean, these were really they caused big threats for many people to survive in this area. And so I feel like what happened here is that they were unable to fully cleanse them from the land. They were unable to fully cleanse the giants from the land. And I've seen this in visions for a long time, that these giants are underground inside the inner earth. They have visited me in dream portals before. They're always very angry. They always feel like something was stolen from them. I've seen these Nephilim giants be literally imprisoned in prison systems inside of the planet, that they're shackled up, they're enslaved, that they can live like a couple hundred years, maybe longer. I got this huge sense though that they were living like very long lives. And I mean, but I think this is what the book of Joshua was ultimately about. The book of Joshua spoke about eliminating all of those giants. But, they never spoke about putting them in prisons inside of the earth. I'm sure they've done the best they can, but, there must have been a lot of giants. Like, it seems like they were really coming from all over. But the big thing was that they were mostly in Jericho. This is where they were like mostly defeated, was in Jericho. And also, they descended initially from Mount Hermon. So Mount Hermon is also very important as well. I think this is Mount Hermon here. This is also another, I wouldn't say Mount Hermon is like a Stargate, but Mount Hermon it's definitely like it should be a Shambhala peak. It is a Shambhala peak, but this has been hijacked. It's basically running codes to the 10D Stargate down in Iran. It's connected to Mount Hermon. It runs the Golan Heights, everything bordering Israel, Syria, and Lebanon. And again, you think about where all the problems of the war happening in Gaza, but also one of the most significant points that people are overlooking is where the contention of the religious prophecy is being upheld in the West Bank. It's also equally frustrating in Golan Heights as well. So basically, it's the seat of the Watchers where they fell. This is where all of the biblical galactic records as ground zero for the Nephilim incursion happened, and it breached the earth plane. 200 angels swore an unholy oath to violate divine law, genetically to interbreed with human women and teach forbidden knowledge, creating the Nephilim hybrid giants who corrupted Earth's frequency. Everything descended at Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. That was out of Book Enoch 6:6. Of course, the book of Enoch, they basically removed that from all of the religious texts as well, because they really don't want people to know about the book of Enoch, because this would explain everything, right? We could actually get our heads screwed back on straight. They don't want us to do that. That would help, right? Just looking over at the chat, guys. Alexander's here. He says he loves you all within the deepest awe always. Thank you, Alexander, for all the love. Sammy Laguna says it's black magic. Oh, Elwood says this is good stuff, Indy. My name is Joshua, and this is sparking me right up. Well, good, because this is sparking me right up too. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Like this, I mean, I'm just like I was so impatient I mean, I didn't even like get ready today. I'm just chilling. And I'm just like, forget it. Like, I don't even care. I just want to like get on and talk with you guys about this because I was looking over a lot of this last night and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like we so need to unapologetically work on Israel because this is the holy Stargate playground, land of creation to be treated with respect. Right? And, bring only the purest intentions forward. But like, we need to work on Israel. This is where us not working on Israel in a detailed level I feel like, is what's holding back a lot of the planetary Earth healing that is connected to Stargate 10. That's connected to the world weather patterns, the floods, all of this stuff, right? So, Mount Hermon, going back to Mount Hermon, I have it highlighted here. I think this is a draconian interface point. There's something pulling in here from the Draco system. It's another. I was seeing it as a Shambhala gate, but I think it's been hijacked or it's been interfaced by Stargate 10 in Abadan, Iran. And it's become a reversal gate, allowing infiltration of Draco, Zeta, and AI Phantom systems. Mount Hermon became a time rift corridor. It's linking Earth to corrupted Sirius A networks, phantom timelines, and fallen Elohim matrices. And these reversals are still running here. Still running the false Syrian codes, the Black Sun wormhole. Also, experiments, human experiments. You know, even as I'm just tuning into Mount Hermon right now, like psychically, I am seeing ancient experiments gone like wrong. Like they had some sort of experimentation camp here, and this must be one of the tasks that like plummeted everything into density and distortion is by experimenting here with fallen angelic scientists that are breaching all of the universal law, initiated the DNA mixing, created the timelines of genetic corruption, slavery, hybridization. You have the Rephaim, Anakim, and Gibborim giants are all results from these timelines. And they're the descendants that operate the secret societies, the multiple unholy trinities, the unholy trinity cities. I've been seeing like clearings, yeah, running through all these locations. Uh, all the secret societies, Freemason secret societies, jihadist secret societies, assassins, royal bloodlines, biotech corporations, all of the interdimensional AI network. The black goo is coming through Mount Hermon. So there needs to be some sort of lion reclamation at Mount Hermon, like a Lyran Syrian lion tribe genetic codex, the DNA templates of the 10D angelic humans before the fall, resurrect those codes, clear the overlaid and spliced Zeta Draco hybrids during the Watcher Rebellion. And I think we're being called to retrieve the original lion DNA strands. So there needs to be some sort of 12D activation at Mount Hermon. And they've given us the clues. Clearly, sound. Like to work on the holy stargates of Israel, we have to use sound. These are sound gates. And it makes total sense, you guys. Like if you ever look at like the Jewish people, like they're always singing their booties off. Like they sing all the time. Like they sing, 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 sing all the time. Like they're always have a guitar, they're always singing, they're always like praising through song. They would be intuitively encoded to that Stargate. They would know because they are living on this land. Many of them are indigenous to the land. But either way, they're still Nephilim king codes, like literally stuff that came out of Deuteronomy that talk about everything still being there at Mount Hermon. The Book of Jubilees warns that Mount Hermon's corruption would echo into the last days. As the Watcher's knowledge resurfaces through AI, biotech, and global surveillance, many seers believe Hermon is a gate of confrontation where the final war between the Christos forces and false creators will breach dimensional veilings. Mount Hermon is one of the thrones of the Shadow Empire and must be dislodged from its role in hosting fallen creation timelines. Interesting, because I just kept really tuning into Mount Hermon so much uh, when all this was going down. I was really sensing that. I got a lot of the positive codes that came through with that one as well, because I mean, not all, it's just it used to be a pure portal. But now, I mean, they got experimentation, underground military bases there. They got secret tunnels there at uh, Hermon. Like, I can't even say it because as I said that, like, I was getting all kinds of activations in my sacral chakra, my root chakra. Have to take a deep breath. So there's a lot of AI control centers that are around Mount Hermon that may be operating there. I'm initially getting the hit that they're aware of like remote viewers and things like this. There's certain type of like astral telepathy scanning devices, things like this. So yeah, there needs to be some sort of like new covenant that is like placed there. There needs to be a Mount Hermon reclamation to clear all of the Watcher energy and all of the wounds of the Elohim. I mean, all of this genetic hybrid splicing and stuff, I mean, this is wounded Elohim bloodline, wounded Elohim Grail line. A lot of that, it's about restoring, and I think like forgiveness, like some of the basic simple things need to happen there, right? Forgiveness, invoking of divine presence and peace, um, clearing all of the distortions from the Emerald Covenant, the Lyran High Council, because it's like everything has to go back to the pre-fall state. So everything pre-fall Emerald Guardian Host, everything pre-fall Lyran High Council, everything pre-fall Archangel Michael, everything pre-fall Metatron, like those, and then sealed with the lion, sealed with the lion's activation. And then again, yeah, the Temple Mount as well. Like this is another spot that needs to be like. So there's so many places, and I can only get to a few today. But there's more that I want to go over with you guys. I really feel like decoding Israel is like something that's now on the on the agenda. So expect some more Israel decodes. I'm gonna be like putting information together now for a while because we're gonna be working towards doing the Gridwork mission. So please come and join me on 8/8. This is gonna be a Gridwork mission you guys don't want to miss. And I'm telling you, like, I don't just say that. Like I put a lot of grid work missions together, and this one I feel is gonna be like through the roof. Like this is gonna be astronomical. I really feel like there's gonna be so much major planetary repair that's going on. Um, just going back over to my Facebook. Come and follow me on Facebook, guys. Come and follow me on Instagram. Follow me on X. Yes, please come and support me on X. I would just greatly appreciate that so much if you guys came and followed on X because I do post a lot of content there as well. Uh, but yeah, this mission is going to be about doing a sound gate collapse and reharmonization of Jericho, Nephilim timeline clearing, DNA reclamation, Stargate of Deliverance activation, talking about why Jericho is absolutely vital. It's a Stargate of sound. So yeah, come and join me for 8-8 Lion's Gate. All of this is connected to the Lion codes, the Lyran codes, the diamond architecture. The true Lyran lineages, they hold the true Lyran lineages, they hold the actual access keys for all of the white diamond architecture on the planet. All of this, the true Lyrans descended through, not only these major Holy Kingdom Stargate network systems in Israel, but also through the Sphinx. Like the Sphinx was one of the access points to the Lyrans. Like, why do you think there is a massive like cat? Like, why do you think there's a massive Sphinx? All of this goes back to, Lyra, it goes back to the Regulus system. And these pure souls, angelic souls that came into the planet, like they brought the actual white diamond Elohim, the Elohai, like the non-fallen emanations of the holy divine spirit of mother and child, right? So that's what the holy white is. It's mother and child, Christ combined within the emerald crystal heart, within the layers of the pathways to the stairway to heaven. That's what they're protecting here in Israel is these stairways to heaven, the Emerald Order Tree of Life. Everything that brought forth the first God worlds of creation, the first understanding of the beginning of time, Genesis, right? So, but the divine essence of that, the spiritual, God's sovereign essence of that, not what it's become, not all of the fallen elements of this. But I think this brings a lot of understanding of what we're dealing with on a soul level, on soul collective level. Yeah, the battle of the giants are still raging here. And this has everything to do with why this Stargate 10 infiltrating aspects of these Stargates, okay, creating the flood and the massive purification and emotional cleansing of the trauma of the planet in these two locations, China and Texas. I mean, it all feels very connected, doesn't it? It feels like we're all just watching the prophecy unfold more and more. So yeah, I'm gonna get into more locations, you guys. I got a lot on the list, but that will be for another update. I just wanted to make sure you guys did know that if you would like a personal planetary life coordinate grid reading, I do offer these. You just go to my services tab on my website, IndigoAngel222.com, and you sign up for the life coordinate personal grid reading. And this is where we take like time together and we chart all of your, you know, personal grid locations because everybody has their own personal grid imprint, right? Everyone has like their own thumbprint, right? And it's just like the grid. What do you look like on the grid? So you have, the place you were born, where you grew up, significant relationships, career path. I look at your lifelines, I look at your birth lines, I look at your relationship lines, your love lines. What does it mean? What does this say about you? What does this reveal about you? What lineages did you come from? What past lives did you have? What ley lines brought you to where you are today, right? Like there's so much that we can decode by looking at your energy on the grid level. And this is a very special reading that I do because a lot of times in this reading, just a lot of channeling comes forward and a lot of revealing um, of someone's planetary identity, which you don't even realize this chunk of your own consciousness or identity is even missing until you get this reading. And then you're like, oh my gosh, everything makes so much sense according to the grids. And it really helps to decode someone's past lives as well. Just know that everywhere that you travel on this earth, whether it's conscious or not conscious, like if you're going somewhere, like there's a reason. We tend to want to revisit the places that we lived before. We tend to want to revisit remembrances, familiarity, and energy. Okay, so don't second guess something or doubt something. You know what I mean? If you've gone somewhere, you've been somewhere, and you felt particular call to go somewhere, don't doubt that as like, oh, like this may or may not be somewhere that I've been before. Like there's always so much more deeper to open up in terms of that memory, that Akashic record. Um, Things are always kind of what they seem, even though they're not what they seem. It's just knowing how to read in between those lines and extract as much information forward to what is going to most benefit you on your path and your journey. So I really recommend this life coordinate personal grid reading. It's a really good one. It's a newer reading that I have. It comes with an actual chart that we put together that you get to keep, virtual chart, and also an MP4 recording that you get to keep that reading. So all of the links to that session is down in the description of this video. And also, if you are looking to master the art of grid work, so if you're just hearing me today, for the first time, like, what is she saying? She sounds crazy. It is a lot of jumbled up stuff, bringing forth grid work, prophecy, vision, channeling, information, current events. Like, it's all tying into one thing. It's very multidimensional. But if you want to master the art of this language and this spiritual technology, I do provide master gridwork classes and courses that you can take that would initiate you from the beginner levels all the way to a master facilitator. And it starts with a training series. Um, I have kind of like my beginner Gridwork Journey, which was the first facilitator course. All of these are enrollable. All of these are downloadable video series and foundations of lessons that take you from grid anatomy to Stargate mechanics to organic versus artificial systems, how to chart these things for navigation, how to set up boots on the ground protocols, to my second course, which is Gridwork Facilitator 2. And this is where you really master the missions, where you get a lot of deeper insight in terms of grid work. So we go to advanced grid work session protocols. We talk about a lot of things we don't talk about in the first course, such as how to work on reversal stargates, um, understanding sacred planetary defense systems, and we talk about grid work ethics. We talk about, you know, all of the planetary weapon systems, earlier when I was starting to kind of list those, we talk about them in this course here, Gridwork Facilitator 2.0. And I also have my New Earth Prophecy course, my most recent one, and this is really all about New Earth Prophecy and planetary guardianship and stewardship. And this is where we really, you know, bring in the very 144, timeline 144, everything timeline 144. So all new Earth codes. And it's really, I have no recommendation of where to begin initially, honestly, because I feel like you do get fundamentals of basics to advanced elements in each course to some degree, but each one is kind of focused on a different pathwork within Gridwork. So you kind of can start wherever you feel most initially called to, I think. But if you want the full, thing, the whole meat and potatoes, you definitely would want to start 1 through 3. So the link to this is also down in the description, so you can check out my coursework. Everything is 100% online, downloadable, video replays, lifetime access, slideshow presentations, visual teachings. I have grid templates, I have maps, itineraries, study guides, and continued mentorship and practice support if you feel like you need that. I've always supported other Gridwork facilitators with their missions, like if they bring forward very detailed itineraries and want me to host their missions or support their missions, like I love to do that. So yeah, Gridwork is a whole world, but it's really what we need to be doing at this time. And so I hope you guys will come and join me for the Israel 8-8 Lions Gate. As you can see, so much more for us to get into with Israel. But yeah, I feel like I had to explain this whole Jericho piece. This is huge right now. And so much more to come through with this. So I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in with me. Thank you, Arizona Raven, for dropping the links down in the chat. And just, yeah, be sure, guys, put a big like on this video on your way out. Just know if you like this channel and the content that I put out here, please just check up on your notifications every so often. I am somebody who is highly targeted by the YouTube Black Sun agendas, basically. I'm a highly targeted individual. Let's just put it this way. So I get a lot of the false artificial overlays that they put on my social medias to basically block me from exposure, block me from, letting people know if I'm going live, things like that. I get very blocked. So all the help I can get from you guys by just sharing, liking, commenting, and just checking up to make sure that you didn't get disconnected from me. So yeah, I appreciate that all so much.